We like old adverts.
Hello and welcome to another episode of We Like Old Adverts. Today, myself and the brothers Deeney are joined by the spoken word artist, label mogul, actor, podcast host. It's the one and only Scroobius Pip. Scroobius, thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me. It's nice to be here.
Yeah, you're joining us from Canada today, which I think makes you our most distant guest. I'm sure that's an honour that you're delighted to have.
It's exciting, isn't it? It's exciting until you realise how minuscule the difference in percentages, because we're all doing them over Zoom. So it's all going all the way up to a satellite in space and then coming back down. So percentage-wise, not that much further away than any of the other guys.
It's not like having Sheryl Crow live via satellite on Top of the Pops in the 90s, is it?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Hey, can we get her booked? Can we get her on?
No, can have it. Just put it out there to the satellites. So, Pip, you had an advert in mind, didn't you? But you couldn't find it. We couldn't find it as well. I'm thinking we can maybe put that out to our viewers if they know the advert that you mean.
This is so niche and weird because it isn't like it's one of the iconic classic adverts. Like when choosing my actual choice I've gone for, I went through so many and just thought, that's too obvious. That's too. Everyone knows the Milky Way one, or the red car and the blue car had like all these other ones that you're like, too easy. But there was an advert not from my youth, so I'd say about 10 years ago, and it was for something like Sun Bingo, and there was a guy on a motorbike, and he just pulled up or something and looked at another guy and just went, "I saw you wobble." And that's all I remember from it. I don't know what it meant or what it was referencing. But me and my brother, I think we were watching it one night when we were up late watching something, and it just gave us fits of giggles, and we were rewinding it. It was one of those that we probably only saw it actually on TV a handful of times, but every time it was on, it was a rewind and a rewatch. But since then, I've never been able to find it online.
Well, there you go.
Anyway.
That's a challenge to you, our beloved viewers. If that rings a bell and you know what it is, do let us know. But obviously, you've not been able to pick that one because we don't know what it is. But should we have a look at the advert you've gone for, and then we can go through it afterwards? Let's take it away.
Hi, I just moved in next door. Could I borrow a Diet Pepsi?
Sure. Come in. Yes. How about something else?
Listen, if you don't have a Diet Pepsi...
No. I got it. Chasing down a tree. Turning up my engine. Sister scream. I'm on the edge. Tonight.
You won't pay in there?
Here's your Diet Pepsi.
That must be my roommate, Danny.
Danny?
Hi, I'm Danielle. You got another Diet Pepsi?
Sure.
Diet Pepsi, the choice of a new generation.
Wow.
There we go.
Very cool. Very cool.
Right.
We thought those days would never end. To say she's just moved in next door, she's pretty forward with the old sashaying into his flat, isn't she? She even told him his name.
She's a confident young New York woman.
Yeah, quite.
There's a lot to unpack with this advert. But first and foremost, I really want to know about the decision they've made from a production kind of level, where it's for some reason important for us to know that he plays lacrosse. A really prominent lacrosse stick. Like, what? There's so little time for us to learn who this character is. And also, we don't need to because it's Michael J. Fox just playing himself.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Why is the lacrosse thing in there?
And that's what I kind of love about it. As you say, there is so much to unpack, but I know that at the time as a kid, I didn't unpack any of it. It was just Michael J. Fox doing anything was the coolest thing in the world. It was post his 85 year where it was Back to the Future and Teen Wolf in the same year. So out of nowhere, he was everyone's like coolest person they ever wanted to be.
Yeah.
To say he's such a cool person, he's got a very grey flat. It's like grey walls, and he's got a grey picture of stones, and he's got a grey tank top on. As you say, Pip. This guy was in Teen Wolf 2 for crying out loud. You know?
Yeah.
Give us some colour in his life.
Is it because it's doing a really good job of portraying an urban setting though, isn't it? And you think of like just grey concrete and skyscrapers and grey sort of like Patrick Bateman style 80s suits. Maybe that was the decision there. I'm assuming New York. It might be, but I assume it is.
It looks a bit Blade Runner.
I like to think it's New York.
Yeah. It almost feels like it's brilliantly done. Obviously, they spent a lot of money on it because that could be a scene just out of a Michael J. Fox movie, couldn't it?
Yeah.
100%. The music and everything is just it's a moment in one of his films.
I like. Speaking of the music, I really like the bit where he says, "Yeah, I'll get you a Diet Pepsi," and he turns away, goes down that corridor, and it's like he turns a Mega Drive on. Because it just
He does a little heel click.
Oh yeah, the heel click is a beautiful thing and well executed by Michael there as well. Like, I'd like to think there is a cut of that advert somewhere that is like an hour and a half long and just is a movie. And they just cut that bit out of it.
People keep moving next door, and he has to go and get more and more Diet Pepsi from more distant and difficult to reach places.
And he never learns.
Just get a multi-pack.
A rare unseen extended version it was described as, and it's literally a few seconds longer because I realised rewatching it then he gets back and the window is closed and then he's just through, and in the extended one he breaks the window and she's like, is everything okay in there and all this. On this normal one you kind of just like the window's closed and it's like, here you go, okay.
I think in the extended
excellent
one,
research there. I'm delighted with that.
Right.
It's a shame that in the extended one he isn't just covered in blood.
Shards of glass in his eyes.
It was worth it.
It's the wonderful. I mean, there's a lot of 80s misogyny to unpack here.
Oh yeah,
but the first one to go to is his heel click as he walks along, because of his assumption of what lending her a Diet Pepsi is going to get him. It's like, she's literally said, can I have a Pepsi? And he's like, getting laid. Wait,
I'll just lock that door behind you.
And it peaks at the end as well when he discovers that that Danny is actually a woman and therefore not a love rival. And it is, I mean, this is the 80s in New York, right? If two women live opposite you, it is basically a definite threesome, apparently. That seems to be what it's saying.
If you've got Diet Pepsi, let's make that clear. It's not an assumption.
Oh, is that why they've got a vending machine on every street then? So like, if you're short of Pepsi, you can just pick it up just there.
Yeah. What were you?
Because that doesn't exist.
The vending machine is just
vending
next to a condom machine. They come hand in hand.
Yes.
Get your Pepsi, get your condoms. Go and enjoy yourself.
I found kind of not problematic, but I just couldn't get on board with it. He looks right down the barrel of the camera at the end. Like, it's like, don't look to me for support because none of us have been here, Michael. This is very much your situation, all right? I'd never have a next door neighbour go, you're right, I've just moved in next door. Have you got a tin of Foster's? And then I've run out to the toffee and hey, here we go.
The whole little run he goes on is like, his boyish charm is working very hard to excuse some quite weird behaviour, shall we say. Like, if he had any less charm, imagine how creepy that is.
Why does he climb on the cards?
That's the same advert, but Willem Dafoe doing it. Imagine how horrifying.
If it was Willem Dafoe, you'd be zooming in to make sure that seal isn't broken. Because it's like, what is he up to? He's run off. He's gone to some strange place to get this special bottle.
Smash through a window. So he does. There's a really odd thing in here as well. He does have some Diet Coke, but like the bottom of it won't come out. Is it like a fake bottle?
I was like,
frozen?
Yeah, is that a design thing? Because that's it. It does look. He tips it, and it's like, oh right, I can see Pepsi in the bottom there. But and again, it is Diet Pepsi. To be clear, not Coke. Very, very different. She wouldn't have gone near him if it was Coke.
Certainly not.
And her either. Kind of slight rudeness as a new neighbour, that he's like, would you like something else? And she's like, well, if you haven't got any. I mean,
I'm sure Fred next door's got some.
I've offered you something else, if you haven't got it, forget it.
heard Biff over the corridor. Yeah, he's got loads.
Apparently, he's thinking about getting into politics.
What I don't understand was he makes his way down the fire escape and lets go at a good 6 to 9 feet height. And then somehow, miraculously, he's back up at the window.
The famously short Michael J. Fox.
Like Spider-Man.
Not only has he jumped up and grabbed that, he's done it with one hand because he's holding a Coke now. He's holding a Pepsi now. He's not got 2 free hands anymore.
So when she opens that is going to fizz up all over her, and he's going to look like such an idiot.
That should be the extended version.
I like those.
I mean, what have you done? You literally, as far as I know, you've got this out of your fridge. Have you been in there for 2 minutes shaking it? I wondered what the noise and racket was. It was you shaking up a can to punk me, to prank me in some way.
Well, I'm so glad we've had a chance to talk about that. I remember it from the time, but my mind had lost it, and I've enjoyed that so much. We're gonna stay in the 80s for our next advert. It's a very, very different tone. It's from good old Blighty, and it's for Freedom Life Insurance.
Going on holiday, are we?
No. It's a life insurance policy.
Aren't they normally called boredom?
Well, this one's different. You can change freedom as your life changes.
Fancy a change, do you?
No, but one day I might want to get married and have children.
So you're single?
Or I might want to increase my mortgage.
And got your own place.
For the time being, though, I use freedom as a way of saving.
Money as well. Tell me more.
Yeah. See for yourself.
Going on holiday, are we?
No, it's a life insurance policy.
Oh, that sounds most interesting. I've always thought it was a fascinating subject.
Dial 100 and ask for free phone Freedom Life Insurance from Guardian Royal Exchange.
What is going on there?
How uninterested is he in her?
See, this is what I don't understand. He's like terrified of her. She's just being nice, for one thing.
And again, we're back to our 80s slight misogyny that he was a very plain, boring-looking man, and this beautiful young lady was chasing him. Yeah. Couldn't get enough.
So hard.
Wouldn't take an insurance brochure for an answer.
Yeah.
It's just pushing and pushing. And then obviously interested in wealth and all the typical things that are attractive in a man.
In the 80s, definitely.
It's his reticence I don't understand. It's why is he so determined to just not communicate with this woman? Perhaps his Nigel Havers chic has sort of made him irresistible to people in a way that we can't understand through the lens of 2020. But for me, the continued brush off is like, I just don't understand the world of the advert. Do you know what I mean? It's sort of like, I can imagine if they'd done it so that he was actually really, really nervous because he seems like a sort of nerdy type. But no, he's the high status one there, when actually he's the one who's also being a dick.
Yeah, it's assuming that we're aware that on the rest of the journey he has been fighting women off left, right, and centre. Every station they pull into, there's a woman throwing themselves at him, and at this point he's like, oh. For God's sake, another one.
Another.
Yeah, this is going to be the death of me, so I best get myself insured. Like 20% women, which I for some reason know about.
I might get married one day, but not yet.
Yeah, not to you.
Not today.
I mean, he will throw her a couple of flirty, tidbits.
Yeah.
So maybe he was playing it so hard to get that we can't see it. He's acted that too well.
You know what? As basic as the advert was, on this viewing, I realised that there was a layer that I hadn't seen on first viewing and hadn't understood. I just thought it was a really weird sentence to say, aren't they usually called boredom? I was like, it's a really weird thing to say about insurance. Wouldn't it be, isn't that boring? Or isn't that usually a bit boring? But it's because it's called freedom. I literally hadn't made that connection at all. And the first time she said it, I was like, what weird scripting. Who scripted that? I'm reading an insurance brochure. Isn't that usually called boredom?
See, at that point,
what is?
He could be forgiven for going, "Uh-oh, we've got a live one here." So maybe that's it. Maybe he's misunderstood her attempt at humour.
It was a good little pun.
She's lovely. She's really nice. He's got
no. She's not really nice. She's not really nice. She is.
Yeah.
I think she's terrible because she's suddenly interested when he says he's in the market, when he says he's got a house, and when he's got a bit of money in his pocket. And then a perfectly nice, if not a little dorkish chap sits down opposite and asks her a perfectly civil question. And she's like, no, mate, this guy's wooed me with life insurance.
Her rudeness of putting her headphones on, giving him no acknowledgement at all. When, if you were to describe them, you'll describe both the men exactly the same.
Yeah.
Plain, white, skinny, glasses. It's like, why? Just one happened to have an insurance brochure, and that was what lured you in. What you couldn't resist.
They both look like disgraced Tories, don't they? In different ways, different kind of disgraced Tories, but still.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah, pre-disgrace. It was the 80s.
Oh dear.
I think maybe I like the bit where when he kind of finally thaws to the idea of maybe she could be a life partner. He slides the brochure over, and she's so eager, like, "Oh, give us a go on that." I'm pretty sure this is a pyramid scheme. The whole thing.
No.
Yeah,
It's a triangle system, Joe. It's different. It's like the thing I've been talking to you about. It's not a pyramid scheme, idiot.
So the two of them are in on it, and they knew each other from the start, and they're luring the third guy that comes along.
Exactly.
It's like a street magic thing where someone's betting and they win, and it's their mate. It's all a big con.
So I think that's time to move away from the 1980s. We're going to go further back in time now to, it's an old advert. It's a really old advert. And all I can say is that I'm sorry.
Breakfast! I'm hungry! Take it from Krinkles. That's me. The best breakfast under the big top is post-sugar rice Krinkles. So crinkly, so delicious, so different. Each grain of rice in sugar rice Krinkles is crinkled with honey and sugar. It's so good, I crinkle every time I eat it. Yep, no matter what other rice cereal you've ever tried, you'll love post-sugar rice Krinkles best of all. Honey and sugar make it different and wonderful. A circus of fun to eat. So you crinkle on down to the store for post-sugar rice Krinkles, the greatest cereal treat on earth.
Woo!
It's terrific, right?
Yeah.
Wow.
You know what I think the creepiest thing is? No music.
I noticed that. Crying out for it as well. It needs some music.
I think the creepiest thing is the pair of like normal hands that come from behind the camera to take his ball away. That's terrifying.
I mean, that open is straight out of it.
Yeah.
Just him appearing and then just stepping up creepily and ripping the whole background.
Yeah.
To me,
just coming out of the screen at you, kind of thing. Oh,
what are they saying with ripping the paper there? You're so right. That is straight out of a horror film. And he says breakfast. It's like he hasn't been asleep. He's just been there all night.
It's putting him in something. It's putting him in this little box, and then it's going, oh, he's not contained. He can go anywhere he wants. He's just going to stand up and rip reality.
Nothing can keep me taking Krinkles. Yeah. Because to me, that background, obviously it's black and white, there is the cereal there. To my kid's mind, that's my kitchen, and that's my kitchen wall. And he's just going to rip his way through that and then just crinkle me.
Who doesn't have milk on cereal? Isn't that the point?
Evil
he just has this dry bowl of cereal. And I love he says that my favourite line is, he says,
"It's so good, I crinkle every time I eat it."
And then he eats some and nothing happens.
Yep.
What
I
is
was
a
expecting
crinkle?
him to do a little crinkly face.
He doesn't
or
like go.
there was something there.
He just goes, the crinkles in our minds.
Yeah.
All right.
Crinkling internally.
I'm crinkling.
Yeah.
You can't see me from the waist down, but I am crinkling sunshine.
He makes no attempt to bring any joy into that character at all, does he? Like that's the haunted kind of look in his eye as he thinks about what his career has come to. Is everything else going on in there? It's like is it theatre dell'arte that clowns originally come from? The pioneers of that. If they saw what a menace clowns have become in society, I think they'd weep, and not in like a fake mime way, like a real way.
Yeah. And did they have less words in them days? Because he uses the words rice and crinkle almost constantly when he's describing how each piece of rice in Rice Krinkles is a piece of rice that's crinkled, and when I eat them, I crinkle. How many is there such a limit in it's like words at this point?
Really bad Derren Brown routine where he's trying to drop in like little words, but he's like, mate, I can tell you're doing it. Yeah. What is a crinkle? I don't get it. It's not a very appealing word as far as marketing goes. A crinkle.
No.
Not Rice Krispies, is it?
Yeah, I'm going to say that.
Into that.
Is it a Rice Krispies situation we've got here, or is it like Ricicles that got added sugar on the outside?
There was mention of honey. He said they have honey on them as well of some sort, but yeah.
You don't brag about sugar being on your stuff that much anymore, do you?
No,
sugar's not. You stay away. Yeah. There's sugar in this and asbestos.
Yeah. And an evil clown that can get you wherever you are.
Post is a really banal brand name for such an abstract brand, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's like a serial killer being called, I don't know, Door or Ground or something.
Or John Wayne Gacy.
True. Yeah.
It's very like that, isn't it? It's very like that horrific story.
I like the very end of the whole thing that he kind of holds the product up, but he hides behind it. It's like he's hiding, like, concealing his identity from a policeman. Like, buy it.
Yeah. Well, as I said at the top, I can only apologise to everybody, you included, Pip, for bringing that into your lives. So I just feel like it needed to be shared so we could exercise ourselves of it. Thank you very much for joining us. It's been a pleasure to have you, Scroobius Pip. If people want to hear what you're up to, where do they go to do that?
Just on all the socials. I'm on the socials, and my podcast, Distraction Pieces, is every Wednesday. So yeah, loads of places to keep up on what I'm rambling on about.
Lovely stuff. So if you've enjoyed We Like Old Adverts, please give us a like and a subscribe, and do that on Facebook, do that on YouTube, leave a comment below if you like. Just let us know what you think, and if you want to see us talk about any particular adverts, let us know in the comments, or drop us a line on welikeoldadverts@gmail.com. If you want, you can make a little video of yourself requesting the advert, and if we like it, we'll do it. So yeah, all that's left to say is thank you, Scroobius Pip, thank you, Joe and Connell, and thank you guys for watching, and we will see you later.
Do you have a Diet Pepsi?